Korean 1, Lesson 5. 무슨 일 하세요? What do you do for work? Literally, it means what kind of work do you do? What kind, what type of work? First grammar. We learned in lesson 4 how to conjugate the verbs and adjectives into what's called polite, informal, or polite, casual, polite, informal, polite tense in present. That and the differential or formal form are the two main types of speeches. And within each of those, you have honorific. There's an honorific counterpart for casual or informal polite, and honorific counterpart for the differential and formal. You use to recap, polite, informal, or casual, polite, the honorific form when you are talking about somebody who is older or higher than you professionally or in terms of social status. Their action and how they are when you're talking about what they do and describing them. You never use honorific on yourself or with something that is inanimate. It's like, it's not a person. Non-person animals do not use honorific with. It's open to interpretation how, well, yeah, animals, but you really should use that only with a person. And only context in which you would honorify, let's say, an animal, or with things, it's just not grammatical when with an animal would be to for humorous effect, like your cat, because they're bossy. The same conjugation is used to make polite requests in the later lesson. It's the same technical conjugation, but it could mean, please do this. You were making a polite request, asking them to do something. Let's look at the examples, and I will further elaborate on the usage, but let's go ahead and see how you turn conjugate verbs and adjectives into honorific. And again, here's the link to find more about the form, the casual polite. Remember, you use she with somebody who is equal and younger. Yes, you use she to show respect for the person, but that person is somebody who is your equal or junior. Never use it with somebody who is older. You use honorifics with somebody whose title ends with 님, for example, which is built into certain job titles such as 사장님 or 부모님, your parents. Your parents will always, or somebody else's, your friend's parents will always be older than you. Therefore, you need to use honorifics with them. Somebody with jobs, certain professions that are respected in Korean society, like they hold positions in education, 교수님, professors, 선생님, teacher, the 님 is included with their title. But I would never refer to myself as 선생님 or 교수님 because I'm referring to myself. So I just say, for example, if I'm introducing myself, I would say 홍 교수입니다. But if I'm introducing another professor, it would be 유 교수님이에요 or 입니다 because it's somebody else. It's my colleague. So when your friend Jessica's exercising, you can just simply say 제시카는 운동해요. or Jessica 씨는 운동해요. See, she tells you it's somebody who's equal or younger, so you can use 아어요. There's an elder gentleman, and he's your boss. He's the president of your company. So then you say 사장님은 운동하세요. So you have to use honorific with them, with somebody who's older, who is higher than you at your job in terms of professional position. And it is expected that those people are probably older, but things are changing. So I will explain what happens when your boss is younger than you. It creates awkward situations. But moving on, Ryan is a little kid. So you say Ryan은 주스를 마셔요. Ryan is drinking juice. 어머니는 mother is drinking coffee. 어머니는 커피를 드세요. The honorific counterpart for 먹다, to eat, 마시다, to drink, to consume something, to take something, is 드세요. So not only are, for honorifics, you have honorific conjugation, sometimes you use a completely different verb for honorific counterpart. Just like 이름, the noun, if it is referring to the names of somebody who is older, you change the noun from 이름 to 성함. There are other nouns like that where if it is a possession or belonging to somebody who is older, you have to use the honorific counterpart of the noun. Not everything is like that, but certain things like home, name, their birthday, their age, etc. How you change, conjugate verbs and adjectives into honorific, very easy. Remember the dictionary form or the 다 form? You take out the 다, and if it ends in a consonant, you add to remember the syllable right before 다, the stem, verb or adjective stem, or base, you put 으세요. If the stem or base of the verb or adjective ends with vowel, you attach 세요. That should be good for majority, 90% or more of verbs and adjectives. Same thing with adjectives. Instead of 좋다, and then it becomes 좋아요 when you conjugate into non-honorific. 좋으세요 is the honorific. Putting things into honorific is a lot simpler. Remember, in order for you to conjugate things into 아어요, the non-honorific, polite, informal, or casual, it was a big two-step process. You take out the 다, you have to first observe if it's a bright or dark vowel, and then attach or all, and analyze whether you have to go back to the stem or the base and see if it ends in consonant and vowel, and have to determine if you have to combine the vowels or not. Here is just a simple A-B process. If you take out the 다 and the base or the stem ends in consonant, you put 으세요, otherwise 세요, 바쁘세요, to describe an older person or a person of higher standing being busy. 이다, remember, it's almost always, it's going to have two counterparts. If the noun before it ends in consonant, 이세요, otherwise 세요, for 이다, the copular verb, to describe elders or somebody who is of a higher status standing. Going back, 연구원이세요 means somebody is a researcher. 의사세요, somebody is a doctor. 과학자 is a scientist. 과학자 ends in vowel, so 세요. 선생님이세요. That person is a teacher. 스티브 어머니는 사장님이세요. Steve's mother is the president of the company. So 사장님이세요. 저는 군인이에요. I'm a soldier, because it's not that we don't respect soldiers, but this person is talking about himself. So 저는 군인이에요. You cannot say 저는 군인이세요. Even if you're the boss, you cannot say 저는 사장님이세요. Remember, even I, as a professor, won't introduce myself as 교수님이세요. Just 교수예요 or 입니다. Here's a dialogue. Linda 씨, 뭐 하세요? Remember, I just mentioned that when you put she after a person's name, it's equal or younger. But you are using honorific here, and it's not that you're breaking the rule, but when you are using honorifics with a person, it not only tells you that you are respecting that person, but there's also a distance. Whenever you're when you're close with a person, there's no qualm. But when you put a distance, when you kind of respect the person, it means also giving them space, and also you're not close to that person. There's a boundary. You're drawing boundaries. So even when you refer to somebody who is equal or younger as she, it's definitely like Mr. or Miss. So it's kind of, you're not still very close with them, you're not very buddies with them. Okay. And on top of it, A is saying 하세요, asking question with honorific. So that tells you, A is very respectful of Linda, but at the same time, it means they're not that intimate. And Linda answers, 화학 공부해요. She's talking about herself. So the question was asked in honorific, but when you're talking about yourself, no honorific. So I study chemistry. 샌디 씨는 뭐 하세요? And Linda also asked Sandy, who is A, what she does or what she studies in honorific form. So that just by listening to their speech and the form they use, you can tell their relationship is probably not too close. There's a distance there. There's a boundary there, calling each other she. Only recently they've been introduced to each other. They're not too familiar. They're acquaintances, you can tell. 저도 화학 공부해요. And when you're talking about yourself, never use honorific. I study, 저도 화학 공부해요. I also study chemistry. Here's another exchange, but now they are talking about a third person. 브리아나 씨. 사장님은 지금 뭐 하세요? So A is addressing Brianna, but asking about the boss. So, she's talking about the boss, asking a question about the boss. So A has to honorify the boss. And B answers, 일하세요, because she's not talking about herself, but the boss. The boss is working. And then A asks another question to Brianna, but it's about Brianna, not the boss. So Brianna 씨는 지금 뭐 해요? And you could tell, unlike the other two people, A and Brianna a little closer, because she doesn't ask the question in honorific. What you doing? 지금 뭐 해요? 전 텔레비전 봐요. And now they are talking about Brianna, and Brianna is talking about herself. So honorific is not needed. There are, as in every form, some irregular instances. We already mentioned that 먹다, 마시다, to eat, drink, they both become completely different verb, you guys. They both become 드세요. 알다, you drop the RL, the 릴, and it just becomes 아세요. This happens with all verbs or adjectives in which there are RL ending, just RL, not the RL and something else. But if the stem or the base ends is RL ending, real ending, then it become, you drop it and then just put 세요. 있다 could mean two things. It could indicate possession or existence. We'll get into that later. The respective counterpart for something existing is, or possessing something, is 있으세요. When you're referring to the person being somewhere existing, it becomes 계세요 in honorific. 있으세요 is to you're asking somebody who is older than you whether they have something on them. 계세요 is about them existing, being somewhere. And ida almost always has a counterpart conjugation for consonant and vowel ending. So it becomes 이세요 if the noun before it is consonant ending, and 세요 if it is a vowel ending noun. That's where 안녕하세요 comes from. 안녕하세요 is just idiomatic and it's honorific. How are you? Honorific. 누구세요? Who are you? Um, who is it? You never know who could be on the other line when you're on the phone, or at the other side of the door. That's why you ask question honorific, okay? Because it could be somebody who's older and you don't want to offend them. 조금만 비키세요. 조금만 비키세요. So 세요 can also be used to ask somebody to do something very politely. So 으세요 use when whoever you are speaking to, the listener, you want to show them respect. 선생님, 일하세요? You're talking to the teacher, you're addressing the teacher directly. Teacher, are you working? So you have to use anybody's name, title ends with 님. Title, you could call a person's name and then 님 if that person is a customer, for example. It's the honorific counterpart of she, okay? For somebody who's equal or younger, you put she to respect them. You mention the person's name, and 님, either the person's full name or their first name, and 님, to show respect for somebody who's older or higher standing. This happens when, like, at a customer service, you're addressing your customer. 선생님 일하세요? Teacher, are you working? Using honorific. Instead of 해요, you have to use 하세요. And the teacher answers 아니요, 안 해요. Because you cannot honorify yourself. And also the teacher is answering student, lower status. Even if you're not talking to somebody who's older, if you're talking about somebody who is older or deserves respect, you have to use honorific. 한국어 선생님이 누구세요? You're talking about teacher. So 누구세요 instead of 누구예요? 이민수 선생님이세요. Is teacher 이민수. So you use honorific when you are not only talking to somebody who is older or superior, but somebody who you're talking about happens to be older or superior. So 가다 becomes 가세요 because you get rid of the 다 and it ends in a vowel, so 세요. And then 앉다 becomes 앉으세요 because it ends in double consonants. 공부하다 becomes 공부하세요. It doesn't become 해세요. That's a common mistake. You have to go back to the dictionary form when you are conjugating honorific. Take out the 타 if it ends in a consonant. 으세요, otherwise 세요. 공부하세요, 읽으세요. So you also, with the same grammar, you can ask somebody, please do something. Remember, 아어요 has 4 usages. It can be statement, question, command, or proposal with 같이, right? So when you say just 가요, 가요 sounds very forceful. It is pretty strong. Go, okay? 가세요 is much nicer. It's softer. It's not rude. Please go. 앉으세요. Please sit down. 공부하세요. Please study. 읽으세요. Please read. 읽어요. It's very bossy, you guys. It's a command. It's an order. To emphasize again, if the verb or adjective after taking out the ta, the syllable right before the ta, the stem or the base ends in a consonant, useo. Otherwise, if it ends in a vowel, seo. And yes, there are irregular exceptions, and we will bring that up as we progress. So 가다 becomes, it ends in a, get rid of the ta, it's a vowel, 가세요. 하다, 하세요. 읽다, 읽으세요. 크다, 크세요. 앉다, 앉으세요. Just pronunciation note. When it's followed by ta, you don't pronounce the second final consonant. It's just anta, anta. But now you have the second syllable that is with empty initial consonant. So you read this 앉으세요, 읽으세요. Please go, please do something, please read. Somebody older is big, or please sit down, or somebody older is sitting down. 먹다, remember, is irregular, so it becomes just 드세요. The exceptions, the irregulars, you have to just remember. So try to recognize what the instruction is, what I'm requesting, by just listening. I'm asking you to start something. What am I asking you to do? Please check something. What am I asking you to do? Please call. Please call me on the phone. 이다. Remember, this is the first thing we learned. Becomes either 이에요, 예요. Before consonant becomes 이에요, vowel, 예요. Honorific noun, if it ends in a consonant, it becomes 이세요, otherwise 세요. We will review this more extensively later, but this is an intro. 있다 will become either 있으세요, 계세요. When you are referring to an older person's possession, it becomes conjugated into 있으세요. When you're talking about the person, the older person, being somewhere at a city, at home, being somewhere, then you use 계세요. Let's look at example. 선생님, you're addressing a teacher. 책이, you're talking about the person's book. So it would be 있으세요? Do you have a book, teacher? You're not honorifying the book, but the fact that you're talking to the teacher about his or her thing, you have to honorify the listener. So that's why it becomes 있으세요. You're not honorifying the book. 선생님이 집에 is a statement. 계세요. The teacher is at home. So for older person's things, whether they have it on them or not, you use 있으세요, otherwise 계세요. For them, the person, people. You cannot use 계세요 for things. Title of this lesson, 무슨 일 하세요? So 무슨 in front of a noun is asking for what type or genre. It's always followed by a noun. These are all the, some of the possibilities. 무슨 일, what kind of job, work do you do? 무슨 영화, what kind of movie, type of movie, genre of movie, 무슨 운동, what kind of exercise, 무슨 drama, what kind of drama, 무슨 음식, what type of food, 무슨 색. This is very useful for making conversations, to ask questions about what type of thing they are into. Only thing that I want to draw your attention to is, days of the week. They're only saying 7 days of the week, so you would think it would be better to ask which day of the week, right? Instead of what day of the week. But when we ask which day of the week, as in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we use 무슨 요일. One theory is because each day of the week is symbolized by different elements, and that's why it would be. And Sunday is usually, it's universal. Sunday is sun day for a lot of East Asian culture, as it is for the seventh day is Sunday, as it is for a lot of Western culture as well. 다 같이, everybody repeat with me. 무슨 드라마 보세요? 무슨 드라마 보세요? What type or what genre of drama are you watching? 무슨 음악 좋아해요? 무슨 음악 좋아해요? What kind of music do you like? 무슨 과목 좋아하세요? These are really what I call conversation makers, you guys. What type of subject do you like? 공학 is engineering. 경제학, economics. 화학 is chemistry. 무슨 선물 좋아해요? To ask what kind of presents they like. 무슨 운동해요? What kind of workout, exercise, sport are you into? And let's briefly look at the days of the week. It's really easy to remember the days of the week by the monosyllabic prefixes from Monday to Sunday. 월, 화, 수, 목, 금, 토, 일. 월, 화, 수, 목, 금, 토, 일. 월요일, 화요일, 수요일, 목요일, 금요일, 토요일, 일요일. And this is probably why Monday is, moon day. Tuesday, for Koreans, it's fire day. 수요일, element of water. 목요일, wood. 금요일, metal. 토요일, soil, earth. 일요일 is Sunday. Another cultural note is that in Western culture, the first day of the week is Sunday. It starts with Sunday. Other cultures, Latin American culture and East Asian culture, the first day of the week is Monday. Because a lot of Eastern Eastern Asian culture, the calendar was based on the lunar calendar too. Now let's try to guess what the question is looking at the answer. 한국 드라마를 좋아해요. So you probably ask, 무슨 드라마를 좋아해요? What type of drama do you like? 이탈리아 음식이 맛있어요. 이탈리아 음식이 맛있어요. Italian food is good. is delicious. So the question was probably 무슨 음식이 맛있어요? What type of food is delicious? Another good conversation maker. 무슨 책이 재밌어요? What genre of books are fun, interesting? 미스테리 책이 재미있어요. 무슨 일 하세요? 무슨 일 하세요? What type of work do you do? 프로게이머예요. Remember? 예요 or 이에요. You state your profession, and if it ends in consonant, 이에요, otherwise 예요. You cannot say 이세요 or 세요 because you're talking about yourself. So let's compare and contrast between 무슨 and 뭐. 뭐 is very specific. What do you major in? 뭐 전공해요? 공학 전공해요. So it's very specific. 무슨 공학이요? What type of engineering? 기계공학이요. So within engineering, what type? What genre? 무슨 versus 뭐 먹어요? What are you eating? 파스타요. And they can get nosy. 무슨 파스타요? What type of pasta? Because there's so many types. tortellini요. Tortellini. You could say tortellini because you remember it's best to say yo or io at the end to be polite. If you say tortellini 예요, you're saying it's tortellini, but they asked you what, they didn't ask you what is it. They asked you what type of pasta. So this is the correct answer, apt answer, tortellini요. And you use the same grammar, the honorific, to ask somebody to do something. These are very common requests. Please do this, please do that. 여기 보세요, please look here. 빨리 오세요. This is very common for Koreans. 빨리 culture, right? Like 빨리 means hurry, hurry. Okay. 이리 오세요. Please come here. 앉으세요. Please sit down. 공부하세요. Please study. 운동하세요. Please work out. 시작하세요. Please start. 샌드위치 드세요. Okay. 이거 드세요. 커피 드세요. So you will hear that a lot from Koreans. They always share food together. So they will always offer you food. Just a little hint. This is coming up in the grammar, but it makes you sound so much more native-like if you put 좀, 샌드위치 좀 드세요, 이거 좀 드세요, 커피 좀 드세요. It means 좀 is a contraction of 조금, and it's like bit. Have some sandwich, have some coffee, have some of this. That's what it means. Okay, like they're not imposing, like they want you to try this or that. Okay, when somebody's taking your photo, 여기 보세요, 이거 드세요, try this. 빨리 쇼핑하세요. That you're not only asking them to shop, but please do so quickly. 여기 앉으세요. Please sit here. 한국어 전공하세요. Please major in Korean. 같이 공부하세요. So you can also ask them to do things together. Please study together. Lesson 5.4. You are making a statement or observation, throwing out a comment, remark, saying, oh, you must be good at something. You must do something well. 잘 is adverb to do for like well. So if somebody says 저는 가수예요, I'm a singer, what can you assume? 정말요? 정말요? Really? 노래 잘하시겠어요. You must be good at singing. 노래 is a song, so you must be good at singing. 저는 프로 골퍼예요. What do you expect somebody who's a pro golfer? 네. 골프 잘하시겠어요. You must be good at golf. Okay. 하다 is to do. And 하시겠어요, it's an honorific variant of honorific it is honorific, and you're making a conjecture. You must be good at it. You must be good at doing that. Okay. So 하시겠어요, very polite way of saying you must be good at something. Okay. And yes, it's honorific conjecture. 저는 셰프 요리사예요. Then you say 음식, wa is like wow. 음식 요리 잘하시겠어요. You must be good at making you know food, or 요리 is just a fancier word. 요리 is cuisine. 음식 is just food, but both means, yeah, 요리 is fancy. It's like you must be good at cooking. 저는 태권도 선생님이에요. Somebody says you must be good at 태권도. 아, 그래요? Is that so? 태권도 잘하시겠어요. So we have 정말요, really, and then 아, 그래요, which are like confirming, oh, really, recognizing things. So I'll tell you probably later about this at the end about 그래요. 그래요 literally means, is that so? And it just memorize this, you guys. You can get out of a lot of situations. I had a situation in which we had a really, really good non-heritage student, and she only took Korean 1. She started a conversation with somebody, and that person, she went and introduced herself to the person, got a little conversation going, just like you guys learn, so far, to say 안녕하세요, 제 이름은 blank, 만나서 반갑습니다. And as the conversation took baby steps and progressed, the native speaker, the elderly gentleman, to the student, started speaking more and more in Korean because she was pretty good. And then he went all out, probably told his life story from his life in Korea, how many grandkids he has, how he came to the United States. And of course, she didn't understand, but she did remember that I told her, "아, 그래요" means, is that so? And you hear that a lot in the Korean conversation, and you can get away with, giving the impression that you understood what they said if you say "아, 그래요," which she did, and she almost gave the older gentleman a heart attack because he thought she really understood everything when all she said was, "Oh, really? It's so," when she really didn't understand, but she knew the correct usage at the right context. 저는 운동 전공해요. So I major in sports. 정말요? 운동 잘하시겠어요. These little fillers are very impressive, you guys. Makes you, even if it's just one phrase, makes you seem so much more at ease or comfort with the Korean language. 저는 러시아 사람이에요. I am a Russian person. 아, 네. 러시아어 잘하시겠어요. Must be good at speaking Russian. That's it for lesson 5.